Morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Monday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, daily chart real quick. Last week was pretty much a fairly flat week. I mean, it was a week that kept gravitating back to the weekly pivot. So you had a couple things. You had a false breakout up to 2403.75. You had a false break down to 23.79, and we end up closing right around where we started, right at weekly pivot there in the 23.90, 23.91 area. So the weekly pivot moved a grand total of 40 cents from where it was last week. So, I'll say the same thing to you, early in the week. It's going to be about what does weekly pivot want to be? Does it want to be support? Does it want to be resistance? Last week, some weeks, it just never makes up its mind, right? So here's last week's weekly pivot. Here's this week's. You can see it's slightly lower. But every day involved it. Every day gravitated back towards it. The bulls need another all-time high. That's all that's left for them to do. When you're trading up at all-time highs, the only thing you can do is keep making all-time highs, or the weight of everything is going to start to pull it back. This is last week's low, 23.79. It also coincides with the daily mid-band, which is coming in at 78 and change. The bears want to test that. They want to convert that. So, those are your wider goals for each side. What's the goal today? Get weekly pivot on your side. In the overnight last night, we traded up into the 94s, back to daily pivot. Bulls defended the daily pivot. They defended it off the open. They defended it, made a higher low on the retest. Now we're back up, trading above, weekly pivot up in the 92s. What you want to see if you're a bull off the open, you want to see a higher high relative to here, and you want to get back to 96.75 and 2400, which are those two potential lower highs from the middle of last week. If you're a bear, you want to get below the Globex low. You want to convert weekly pivot and daily pivot, and then start to make a conversation about getting back to the Friday low and closing, or at least trading below that. You need to make some lower lows on a daily basis if you're going to turn this market around. We may still chop. My suggestion is get into trades, take profits as you find them. Okay? This isn't an environment, unless things are going to change today, and you never know, but unless things are going to change today, this isn't an environment where runners on trades are going to run for 5, 10, 15, 20 handles. It's just not that kind of environment. It's an environment where you get into a trade, you get your handles, you get out, you look for the next trade. You got to be more nimble, okay? So we'll see what that brings us. Everybody have a good morning, and I'll see you for the midday update. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princeton Trader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade 'em well.